1 earned runs in 36 innings in 3 World Series, 4-0. By the way, he threw in a save in the 7th game against the Kansas City Royals, and he was a 2014 Series MVP. What makes him so great, Kenny?
Well, Michael, he's 26 years old. He's already a 4-time All-Star. He's got a power-breaking ball, a tremendous fastball, good combination. But I think it's how he hides the baseball. He turns his back. Left-handed hitters really have no chance. Madison Bumgarner, one of the best in the game.
Now, there's a history between the Yankees and the Giants. The Giants and the Yankees used to play a river away from each other, and they actually met in the World Series 7 times. We'll tell you what happened in those World Series when you stick around right here on Pix 11. Is brought to you by Hyundai. It's go time at the Hyundai Summer Sales Event. Hyundai, not just new, better. By Six Flags Great Adventure. Go big. Go Six Flags Great Adventure. By your Tri-State BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. And by ChevyOffers.com. Well, the Yankees and the Giants have a postseason history. The Giants beat the Yankees the first 2 times they met in the World Series. Then the Yankees moved out. They moved to Yankee Stadium, and then they got serious. They won the next 5 World Series between these 2 teams in a row. The last time these 2 teams met in the postseason, 1962, when the Yankees won it in a 7-game set against the San Francisco Giants. We are coming close to baseball when we get back. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, Giants, Yankees, next on Pix 11. Will begin a 3-game set tonight. This is the final series of this 10-game homestand for the Yankees. Yankees took 3 out of 4 against the Orioles, and they lost 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox. So they finish up here against the Giants before hitting the road 3 in Houston and then 3 in Tampa Bay. Yankees take the field, and we will join the Yankee public address man, Paul Olden.
And before the playing of tonight's national anthem, let us all join in a moment of silence for those who lost their lives in today's terrorist shooting in Munich, Germany. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims, their families, and everyone affected by this horrible tragedy. Thank you. And now, Robert Merrill's rendition of our national anthem.
All right, so we're almost ready for baseball here at Yankee Stadium. So why don't we take a look at Bruce Bochy's Giants starting lineup, which is brought to you by the Honda Summer Clearance Event. The center fielder is Denard Span. He leads off, batting second. The left fielder, Angel Pagan. Brandon Belt at first base will hit third. Cleaning up the catcher, Buster Posey. He's been very hot of late. Brandon Crawford at shortstop bats fifth. Batting sixth and playing third base, Connor Gillespie. Jarrett Parker was the DH. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, the former Yankee second baseman Ramiro Pena. A pretty good year, 348. And Gregor Blanco, the right fielder, is going to bat ninth.
And starting tonight for the New York Yankees, Masahiro Tanaka, 27-year-old right-hander. This will be his 20th start of the year. There are the numbers: 7-2, 3.15, 100 strikeouts and 123 innings. And let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Honda dealers. He's won 4 straight decisions personally, but the Yankees have won the last 6 games that he has started. When he is ahead in the count, and this is big for all pitchers, but when he is ahead in the count to a hitter, they're hitting only 176 against him. He's got a lot of put away pitches, and he has one of the highest chase rates in the baseball, which means he throws pitches to the plate. They look like strikes. Hitters chase them out of the strike zone, and he picks up strikeouts that way.
Let's take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by the Kia Top Quality Sales Event. Yankees have a predominantly right-handed hitting lineup. Gardner is the left-handed hitter. He's in left. Hicks in center. Beltran over in right. Then you've got Headley, Torreyes, Castro, and Refsnyder left to right in the infield. Romine behind the plate. McCann gets the day off. So does Ellsbury, as well as Gregorius. And Tanaka is on the mound. So that's what Joe Girardi has put together, and the switch hitter Mark Teixeira is out as well. So this is a different Yankee lineup against a very difficult pitcher in Madison Bumgarner. And strangely, the Giants, who have played so well all year, they're in a slump. They've lost 5 straight since the All-Star break, so they just lost 2 in a row to the Red Sox at Fenway. Bruce Bochy is going to try to snap them out of it with this trip to New York. So the Giants are 57-38, and the Yankees are 48-47. 3 good games tomorrow at 4 and then Sunday at 1. So we thank you for joining us and spending part of your Friday evening with us. It's a hot, steamy evening here in New York City. Denard Span is ready. Tanaka is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is up and away, and we are underway. Alfonso Marquez, the home plate ump. Larry Vanover at first. Chris Guccione at second. David Rackley is over third. Vanover is the crew chief. Fly ball, center field. Coming on is Hicks, and he makes the play for the first out. Now let's check out the keys to the game, brought to you by Hyundai. Not just new, better.
Well, Tanaka has to go at least 6 innings. You know, that's the formula for the Yankees. But the fact is, when the Yankees get 6 innings from any one of their starters, they are 10 games over 500 this year, 32 and 22. They have to improve against lefties. They are 5 games under 500 against left-handed starters, and you figure you're not going to get that many opportunities against Bumgarner. So when you get them, you got to take advantage of them.
Here's Pagan. Now, if you look around this ballpark, there are patches of the crowd wearing orange shirts. These are not camp kids. These are Giant fans.
The older camp kids.
Yeah.
Those are graduates.
Yes. And there's a chant going up of "Let's go Giants." So they certainly made the long trip. Fly ball left field. Gardner is there, and there's 2 away.
You know, I wonder, it could be 2 things, Michael. First of all, the Giants have had a lot of success lately, so their fans travel well. There are a lot of fans in Boston. I watched their series against the Red Sox. They didn't do very well. But I wonder if any of those are leftover New York Giant fans.
Has to be some kind of, right? I mean, anytime you have roots in a city,
he's way too young. There might be
these are kids of people whose father grew up watching the Giants, right?
So here's Brandon Belt. And he belts one to center field. And a nice easy inning for Tanaka as Hicks will put it away. And he did it with just 5 pitches. Now it's time to take on Madison Bumgarner, World Series hero, one of the best pitchers in the game. Giants nothing in the new. The Yankee starting lineup is brought to you by Land Rover, above and beyond. We told you it's a little different Yankee lineup. Brett Gardner is the only true left-handed batter. He'll play left, batting second and playing second, Starlin Castro. Carlos Beltran, a switch hitter in right. DH, A-Rod. Chase Headley, the third baseman, will bat 50. Actually has good numbers against Bumgarner. Rob Refsnyder, first base, will bat 6th. Batting 7th and catching, Austin Romine. Aaron Hicks in center field will bat 8th. And batting 9th and playing shortstop, Ronald Torreyes.
Madison Bumgarner gets the start for the Giants tonight. He's got a birthday coming up August 1st. He'll be 27 years old. This is what he's done this year. The numbers are very, very good. 155 strikeouts, 135 and 2/3 innings, 14 home runs allowed, and only 201 against him. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Only 1 pitcher in the major leagues has thrown more innings than Madison Bumgarner, and that is his teammate Johnny Cueto. Bumgarner will pass him tonight. Cueto should pass Bumgarner on Sunday. And only 2 pitchers in the major leagues have more strikeouts than Bumgarner. Max Scherzer and Jose Fernandez. And the Cali Road not kind. He's given up as many as 4 earned runs in a game 3 times this year. All 3 of them happened on the road in the state of California. Once against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, once across the Bay Bridge to the Oakland A's, and in his last start, he gave up 4 in San Diego and took a loss.
This guy might be the most underpaid player in all of baseball. He was signed to a very team-friendly 5-year, $35 million deal, which goes through next year. This season, he's making $9.75 million. They have an option for 2018 and 19 at $12 million a year. You put this guy as a free agent right now, he's a $31, $32 million a year pitcher. So a smart move by the Giants.
Yeah.
And he's not complaining.
Well, he's a former #1 draft pick. And you like it when your #1 draft picks turn out this well.
Here's Brett Gardner against Bumgarner. 0-1.
Now, Paul, I was talking about, Michael mentioned that Gardner's the only left-handed hitter in the lineup, and you being a left-handed hitter, And you see somebody like Bumgarner in the mound, the way he turns his back. I mean, he hides the ball as well as anybody in the game.
Yeah, it's all about deception, not being able to pick up the pitch. You see Gardner a little late, might dunk it in there. He's hit the left field, good start. But to your point, Kenny, I mean, yeah, if you don't pick up the ball well out of the pitcher's hands, obviously your reaction time is kind of cut in half. Brett Gardner stay in there, and just hits it off the end of the bat, enough to just flare it into left field.
Remember former Yankee David Justice saying he used to concentrate more against lefties to keep his front shoulder in there.
Oh, you really have to. As soon as your front shoulder leaves, you kind of lose that outside corner. You just can't reach it.
All right, let's check out Who's Hot, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And he's hot. Last 5 games, 6 for 17, 4 extra base hits, and 6 runs batted in.
I thought of David Justice, man. What ran through my mind was him hitting that home run off the lefty Arthur Rose.
Oh, it was a bomb too, wasn't it?
Castro has had success against Bumgarner. 11 hits and 26 at-bats. That's .423. That one is ripped to left field. Going back is Pagan. It's over his head and goes up against the wall. They're going to wave home Gardner. Here's the throw. Not in time, and it gets past Posey, and that allows Castro to move to third. It's an RBI double for the Yankees second baseman, and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Well, Michael, you mentioned the fact that Castro's had some success against the Giants ace. And Castro is pretty hot right now, too, with the bat. He's hitting .333 in his last 14 games, and he rips this one to the gap. Angel Pagan gets it back in, but Gardner, we know the type of speed that he has. You have any trouble getting the ball back in, he's going to score. Yeah, he's moving.
Yankees get a little break there. That ball ended up hitting the grass out in the outfield, which kept it in the park. That ball hits the warning track. A lot of times it bounces over the fence. Again, you talked about Castro, and he has put together some good at-bats, and if you look why, he's using much more of the field. I mean, obviously he pulled that, good pitch to pull, but he had a big hit the other night to right center field. He stays on the ball, he's going to be much better.
Beltran at the plate. History against Bumgarner, 3 for 9, but 2 of the 3 home runs. Infield is back, they'll give up a run. The pitch is low, 2-0. By the way, that scored a double, an RBI, and he goes to third on the throwing error by Crawford. So an E6. Very symmetrical line, 320, 60, not too messy.
Pretty good, though.
There's a strike.
Yeah, one thing that's made the Giants such a good team, they're very solid defensively, but lately that has not been the case. This is their last 28 games now. They've made 23 errors, and that's just not the way the Giants play ball for Bruce Bochy.
Way out in front, 75 miles an hour, 2-2.
Kenny, you said it earlier in your scouting reports. You really need to take care of these, these opportunities. And right here, Carlos Beltran. Obviously, when a pitcher is this good, 2 strikes, you start feeling a little pressure. You got to put the ball in play here. Get that run in from third.
Misses outside with the fastball.
Yeah. Unusual shift by the Giants there. As the pitch was coming to the plate, the infielders came in, and now they're going to stay there. You don't see that very often.
A lot of times, you see the infield back as a hitter. You think, all right, let's put the ball in play. And then as he's pitching, they come in to play infield in. And you see it as a hitter, you kind of panic because you have to change your approach as the ball is coming.
In a hurry.
Always a tough time to hit. I thought with first base open, you know, he's not going to give in to you.
And he walks Beltran. Well, check out the Giants defense, which is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. You've seen Pagan on left. You got Span in center and Blanco over at right. Gillespie, Crawford, Pena, and Belt third to first. The great Buster Posey behind the plate, and Bumgarner is on the mound. And there's former Yankee Dave Righetti, the pitching coach of the Giants. He's done an unbelievable job with this franchise.
You know, I think if you threw names in a hat and told people to pick the best pitching coach in baseball, I mean, you're seeing two of them here tonight. Larry Rothschild, Dave Righetti, two of the best out there.
Here's A-Rod, 2 hits in his last 19 at-bats. And that one's popped up. Shallow right. Blanco makes the catch. Castro will not go. So A-Rod does not get the run in, 1 away.
You know, that's a weird play. If you watch the way Blanco caught that ball, I don't know if he even thought there was a man on third. We've got to get a replay. I don't think he thought the guy was on third base. He's going to throw the ball to second base, then he figures it out, turns over, and, you know, it's not deep enough, obviously.
Yeah, maybe he's thinking that he's not going anywhere.
Ooh.
So here is Chase Headley. Being in the National League West for as long as he was, Headley certainly has a body of work against Bumgarner. 33 at-bats. He has 10 hits. 3 home runs, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So a .303 hitter with a .359 on-base percentage. That's why he's batting 5th. Hit sharply right at Gillespie. 2 away.
That's a tough break there. You can't do anything else as a hitter other than hammer it. Just right at him.
You saw Headley's reaction as he's headed into the dugout, and he knows he hit that one well, but right at Gillespie at third. You hit him hard, you can't really guide him, though.
All right, here is Rob Refsnyder batting 6th and playing 1st. And there's a strike from Bumgarner. In San Francisco, they call him Mad Bum. And he is the only player in the history of baseball to have the first name of Madison.
Wow. It's a great nugget you pulled out there. I like that.
Thank you. I think he's the only Bumgarner, too.
Might have been.
So that's right up there with Asdrubal.
Yes.
This is what the really good pitchers do, Kenny, is they save runs. I mean, right now you're not out of this. You pitched around Beltran. You got a break against Headley. You always seem to get the big outs to save those runs.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think he wanted to have much to do with Beltran. Would have run on third.
2-1. There's a strike. 2-2.
Again, he's not the kind of guy that's going to throw upper 90s by you, but 2-0, 2-1. He'll come in with a curveball. He's very deceptive with his motion.
Yeah, his pitching coach could throw up a 90s right by him back in the day. Dave Righetti.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. That one's in the dirt, blocked by Posey. 3-2.
Good play by Buster Posey, the all-star catcher. He's just about all-star everything.
Bumgarner gets out of jams. 85.2% of his runners are left on base, and that's the best in the major leagues. Major league average is 73%. So Beltran will go 3-2 and 2 outs. Castro stays put at third. It's high, and that loads the bases. Couple of walks, single and a double. Yankees have a run in and looking for more. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and Austin Romine at the plate.
You know, Bumgarner's a big, strong guy, about 6'4", 6'5", about 245. But you're running his pitch count up here in the first inning. It's up to 21. And this could only benefit the Yankees maybe a little further down the road in this game.
Outside, 1-0.
First ever appearance here at Yankee Stadium for the Giants ace left-hander.
Grounded, just foul. So McCann started all 4 games against the Orioles, and now Romine getting a turn against the lefty.
And Romine's been very solid with runners in scoring position this year. He's hitting 400. You know,
more than solid, huh?
That is more than solid, but limited opportunities for sure. But still, he's made most of his chances in these situations.
Fly ball, left center, Span back, and he'll make the play for the final out of the first. Yankees 1 run, 2 hits, and the bases are left loaded. We go to the second. It's 1-0 Yanks. By Bob's. Everything's better with Bob Opedic. Find out why at mybobs.com. RBIs by catchers in the majors. Wilson Ramos of the Nationals, 49. Jonathan Lucroy on the trade market, 48 for the Brewers. Buster Posey, who's leading off the second with 44. Sal Perez, 43. And Brian McCann, 40. And there's a strike. Posey, 29 years old, Former first-round draft pick in 2008 out of Florida State. First National League catcher to win the MVP in 40 years. Check swing and fouled away.
Johnny Bench?
No, it was Posey.
No.
That was in 2012 when he won the MVP.
So 40 years before that?
1972, yeah.
Man, sound like Johnny Bench. You mentioned the RBI race among catchers. It looks like it's going to be a good one this year to see which catcher drives in the most runs. Posey drove in the most last year with 95. Brian McCann was second. Of course, McCann drove in a few runs as a DH, but not all that many. He didn't get that many, but you don't. American League, you usually don't use your catcher very often as a designated hitter.
Yeah, I was looking at Posey's stuff today, and Bochy's trying to give him days off now and then. He, you know, interleague, he's DH 4 times this year. Played first base a couple of times just to try to keep him fresh of not catching every day.
Remember, Bobby Valentine used to say one of the toughest things for a manager is to have one of your best hitters be a catcher in the National League, and he had to deal with that with Mike Piazza. You want to play him all the time because they're your third or fourth hitter, but you can't put somebody behind the plate that many games.
It kind of worked for Mike Piazza. Hall of Fame this weekend. Congratulations
to he and Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
It's funny, I was talking to Hensley Mullins today about Willie Mays. I was always a huge Willie Mays fan. Does he still go to the ballpark? He still goes to the ballpark. I think he turns 85 years old this year. Still hangs out, eats lunch there.
3-2. Grounded foul.
And the reason I was bringing that up is, Ken Griffey was kind of the Willie Mays of, my era. He was that all-around kid that just could do everything. Growing up, you looked at Willie Mays, there was really nothing on the field he couldn't do. And then years later, Ken Griffey, kind of the same type of player.
Yeah, Willie Mays was Willie Mays of my era.
Yeah, yeah.
Could do it all.
3-2, and Posey walks. So a leadoff walk to the Giants catcher.
Must have just been off the outside corner, had plenty of height.
Anytime you see a pitcher after he delivers, he kind of hesitates before he moves. In other words, he thought it was a strike. And Pineda was frozen for just a second out there on the mound after delivering the pitch.
There's Brandon Crawford.
Excuse me, Tanaka. Got my A's mixed up.
Grounded through for a base hit. Refsnyder was holding on Posey. There was a hole on the right side, and Crawford found it. First and second, and nobody out.
I think Paul O'Neill would tell you that's what that hole is there for. You get something soft, and you pull it right through the hole. Yeah, first baseman holding the runner on.
Left-handed hitter, you usually take a pitch, something you can get to drive in that hole, and then obviously you go back to hitting if you don't. Crawford, one of those guys that name comes up a lot of being one of the better elite shortstops in all of baseball. Pretty much does everything: fielding, hitting. You see, he had 61 RBIs. Is that right?
Yeah.
As a shortstop.
Leads the Giants.
There's Connor Gillespie. We last saw him with the White Sox. Spelled Gillespie, but pronounced Gillespie. He takes a strike. So such an easy first inning for Tanaka with 3 straight fly balls, 5 pitches, and now running into trouble here in the second.
love to watch him pitch in these situations because every pitch kind of leads and sets up the next pitch. Got ahead, strike one, tried to see if he'd expand a little bit, but obviously trying to keep that ball in the infield, try to get a double play ball.
Trying to get a ground ball right at Castro at second.
Foul ball. Second deck.
It's a two-seamer you throw in and try to get it back to the inside corner. They got a little bit too much of the plate here. Not much you can do with that as a lefty unless you're trying to, hit that ball up the middle. You're going to hammer it. You're going to hammer it foul, just as he did. And now Tanaka in a good place to try to get that swing and miss. Out front, just cued it off the end of the bat. Bam Bam Newlands.
Hitting coach for the Giants.
Got a few former Yankees on their coaching staff.
Swing and a miss. Big strikeout of Gillespie. Take a look at the Giant coaches with Yankee connections. Dave Righetti, 11 seasons with the Yanks. Roberto Kelly, 7 seasons. He ended up getting traded for somebody. And Hensley Mullins, 5 seasons.
Paul, how'd you find out about that trade?
The Cincinnati Reds left it on my answering machine.
Very personal.
They didn't talk to you?
I was out cutting the grass with Mama. And just next thing you know, it was on the answering service. And Gene Michael called me about an hour later. And I was pretty much in shock. But looking back, it was the best thing that ever happened.
Here is Jarrett Parker, who lines one to center field. And it's caught by Hicks for the second out.
It's a tough play. Those balls hit right at you that kind of sink. Very hard to get track on which way they're going to go or if they're hit hard or not. It's a big play for Hicks there. The ball drops or gets by him. A lot of things can happen.
And hung up just enough that he could get underneath it and make the play. That ball was hit hard.
Pitchers like those plays.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
As Bumgarner did, Tanaka has put himself in a position, obviously not out of this yet, but a position where a good pitch you can get out without giving out a run. After the two leadoff guy or leadoff and the second hitter both get on.
Here's Ramiro Pena, one of 2 former Yankees on the active roster for the Giants. George Contos, the pitcher, the other.
And the Giants signed Pena as a minor league free agent. Of course, he's versatile. He can play second, short, or third, as he did with the Yankees.
First and second, 2 outs. Yankees lead 1-0. Top of the second.
And the Giants, Paul had mentioned the injuries. Joe Panik, their regular second baseman, out with concussion symptoms. He's missed 20 games. Pena's got an opportunity to play. Hunter Pence, right fielder he's been out for 40 games with a torn hamstring. And Mike Duffy, third baseman, Achilles injury. He's been out 20 games. So several of their key players have been out for a while.
Our colleague Ryan Rucco, very disappointed. He grew up with Joe Panik and wanted to see him play in these games. I know that Joe Panik is extraordinarily disappointed. He had circled this on the schedule when it came out. Get a chance. He was born in Yonkers.
Oh, wow.
Lives in Hopewell Junction, New York.
Yeah, Boston and New York. He was looking forward to playing both at Fenway and here. Just didn't happen this time.
2-1. Charging is Chirias. He gets Pena. And Tanaka works out of trouble. No runs are hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Yankees. Look how close they were. This is from 1924, so let's map it out. 0.7 miles from the Polo Grounds to Yankee Stadium. Amazing, right? And now we spin the clock forward to 2016. We move the stadium across the street, and we put up some apartment buildings, and that's what it is in 2016. So what did the Polo Grounds look like? Well, it was deep to center field, we know that. And the Yankees played there from 1913 through the end of 1922, sharing it with the Giants. Babe Ruth came aboard in 1920, and the Yankees started outdrawing the Giants, which upset John McGraw, the Giant manager, and told the Yankees to hit the road. So they hit the road and built the biggest stadium in baseball, right close enough so the Giants could hear the cheers from Yankee Stadium. Aaron Hicks hits a fly ball to left field. And Pagan makes the play.
You mentioned dimensions at the Polo Grounds. Now, the Mets actually played their first 2 seasons at the Polo Grounds before it was demolished and Shea Stadium was built. It was 484 to center field, 250 down each line. So it was like a horseshoe. And I think over the years, only 2 players hit home runs into the center field bleachers. One was Joe Adcock of the Milwaukee Brewers, and the other was Lou Brock.
Lou Brock.
Lou Brock of the
leadoff hitter.
The leadoff went deep. Probably the best ball he ever hit.
Torres takes a strike here in the bottom of the second inning. And that one is looped into left center field. It's going to dunk in for a base hit, cutting over a span, and he holds Torres to a single. Now, the Yankee relationship with the Giants was kind of complicated because they moved there in 1913. They used to play in Hilltop Park. And when they played in Hilltop Park, their name happened to be the Highlanders because it was on a hill. And then when they moved to the Polo Grounds, they became the Yankees. And then in 1920, they got Babe Ruth from the Boston Red Sox, and the rest, as they say, is history. First 2 World Series they played, they didn't have to travel at all. They played while they were in the Polo Grounds. And then the Giants won those 2. They played 5 more World Series, 4 in New York and 1 more in San Francisco, and the Yankees won all 5 of those. And there was a complicated part of why John McGraw didn't want them there. He was jealous that they were outdrawing the Giants, but also there were blue laws in certain cities back then when you couldn't play baseball on Sunday, and Boston was a city that you couldn't, and Philadelphia you couldn't. So New York, they didn't have those blue laws. You could play on Sunday. And the Giants wanted more than just 13 Sundays because the Brooklyn Dodgers had 19 Sundays that they were getting at Ebbets Field. So John McGraw said out.
It was a matter of economics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I learned a lot here. I mean, we're only in the second inning here, Michael.
We got so much more.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a lot of history between these two teams.
Amazing. Sounds like a match made in heaven. They hated each other.
Yankees weren't too fond of the Dodgers either.
Imagine 3 teams in
that
one
must have
city.
been really weird, having 3 teams in a city.
Well, the thing about it, I think in the 1950s, there was a New York team in the World Series every single year of the 1950s.
Well, we got a taste of it in 2000.
Until the Dodgers and Giants moved in the late 50s.
And the Dodgers were in it.
And 59. Yeah, they lost to the White Sox that year. Or they beat the White Sox that year.
Fly ball left field. Pagan makes the play to retire Gardner. And Torres heads back.
So research says that 1949 to 1958 there was a New York team in the World Series every single year. Your chances were enhanced by having 3 teams in a city.
Back in the 50s, the Subway Series was such a big deal, and Paul, you got to play in a Subway Series, and it was pretty awesome.
So much fun. It's like playing in high school again, getting on the bus, driving across town with your gym bag, and just getting off in your uniform. That didn't get any better than that. That was an exciting time.
Here's Starlin Castro had an RBI double in the first inning, and that was the series where you got to see George Steinbrenner moving furniture because of a flooded Shea Stadium.
Absolutely.
And bringing in the Yankee Stadium furniture to make you guys comfortable.
Awesome. One night I went in and the water was flying around and he had a fire hat on. He was directing the firefighters how to fix it. Had it all under control.
Torres is yet to steal a base this year, but he is more than capable. He can run very well. The thing about it, he doesn't get that many opportunities. Because it always seems to me when he gets a hit, it's a triple.
Last time the Giants played in American League City in interleague play, Bruce Bochy had Madison Bumgarner hit. Did not use a DH. Tonight he is using a DH. There's a strike. And Bumgarner actually got a hit.
Well, he does have 13 home runs. And his career hit 5 last year.
And wanted to be in the home run derby this year.
We went through this last night, Kenny.
Nah,
he's a good hitter for a pitcher, but put him up against everyday players, you just can't imagine the difference.
You don't think he would have beaten Stanton?
No. One thing now with the time clock, I mean, as a pitcher, you're not used to taking that many swings. And
what if he pulls a muscle or something? He can't pitch.
A good breaking ball there. You see from that arm angle, he can kind of cross shoot that fastball and get that big break. That breaking ball. Pitchers don't forget, Castro got a nice fastball to drive us for a double first time up. Fastball, try to get this in.
Ground ball, through for a base hit. 13 for 28. Moving to third as the ball is bobbled by Pagan is Torres. And the Yankees have runners on the corners. 13 for 28, that's the best batting average of any player against Bumgarner with over 20 at-bats.
You see Bruce Bochy, another error. I mean, these are just not the things you see the Giants doing. Castro seems to always be ready for that fastball. You know, he's a fastball hitter. He can get it, pull his hands in, find a hole.
Just got enough of that, didn't he? It wasn't really scorched.
Good job by Torres to not get your head down. Watch the play. Cruised into third.
24 errors in 28 games for the Giants.
Beltran takes up and away, 1-0.
Now, the first time up, the Yankees had a runner at third, and Beltran was kind of pitched around. Now, there is a base open. I heard David Cohn say this a lot. He doesn't want to deal with them this time, and he wants to get the A-Rod again. Just watch the sequence of pitches.
Yeah, because David didn't care if the base that was open was first.
Yeah.
He said if the base open is second, it's still open.
It's all about who you're comfortable getting out. And Carlos Beltran, I mean, he's been the most productive hitter by far for the New York Yankees.
Ooh. Good swing.
Yeah, off-speed pitch too. He kind of turned it over, a little change-up. Backdoor slider there. Got to the outside corner. Carlos right on it.
Now this time it appears he's going after him. Maybe he knows A-Rod has the most home runs in history with the bases loaded.
That one's drilled deep to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. Foul ball.
You can watch the hitter. He knew he had him. Boy, he stayed on top of that high fastball. Right on it. Just got around the baseball a little bit, which causes it to hook.
Line drive, it's a base hit to left field. Torres scores. Castro moves to second. It's an RBI for Carlos Beltran, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
He turned on the high fastball, and then he waited on a slow curveball. And what else can you say? Carlos Beltran has just been everything the Yankees could dream. You see this breaking ball kind of hangs a little. Beltran right on it. Big two-out hit, drives in another run. Talk about going after Carlos Beltran. And you know what? One of the best pitchers in baseball. I mean, they believe in their mind they can get anybody out. So, you know, to pitch around guys time and time again when you're as good as Bumgarner.
Here's A-Rod. Upstairs. A-Rod with a fly ball to right in the first inning on the first pitch that he saw. And that was with runners on first and third and nobody out. Now he's got first and second, 2 outs. Alex struggling, 2 hits in his last 20 at bats, but one of them a 423-foot home run into the left field bleachers. He broke his bat on that. He does too.
Well, we talked about taking advantage of the opportunities that you get, and Beltran just did, and A-Rod has another chance to back it up with another one. 2-out RBIs are big. Really energize the team.
Two and one.
See new teams that come in and what they're, you know, how they feel they're going to get somebody out. And Alex Rodriguez looks like they want to jam him, get everything in.
Alex had a very good batting practice session today. I was watching him hit. He was hitting several balls into the bleachers in right field and in left field.
Two and two. Two nothing Yankees. and they are looking for more here in the bottom of the second. Fly ball left field. Pagan is there. He'll put it away for the final out. But the Yankees get a run. 3 hits, 2 men left. We go to the third. It's 2-0 Yanks. Schedule brought to you by your local Infinity retailer. Stop in for a test drive today. 2 more games against San Francisco. A 4:05 start tomorrow on Yes, 1:05 on Sunday. And then the Yankees hit the road. 3 in Houston, picks 11 on Monday, and 2 games on Yes. Thursday's an off day and 3 games in St. Pete against the Rays. Gregor Blanco grounds it to Refsnyder, goes between his legs, and it's going to be an E3 as Blanco reaches.
For a quick out, and all of a sudden Refsnyder, the ground ball kind of eats him up. Gets through the wickets there.
Back to the top of the order, and Denard Span. Shows bunt, takes a strike.
Span spent some time with the Minnesota Twins, also the Washington Nationals. Giants signed him to a free agent deal. He's had some injury problems this year. Missed about 6 games with a stiff neck. When you think about the classic uniforms in baseball, the Giants and Yankees are right up there at the top. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Their home uniforms are they're not white; they're a little off-white,
yeah,
like creamish color.
Yeah, yellowish tinge to them.
Foul ball.
Okay, we were talking about a survey out there. There was a voting. I don't know if you were listening the other night where they were. It's like a bracket. where you could vote for the best hat in baseball. And I was telling the story because we were playing the Baltimore Orioles, and they beat the Yankees in the first round. How could that not be the best hat? I thought the Dodgers, the Giants, the Yankees.
The teams that have been around for a while. Yeah. Detroit.
It really upset Paul, Ken.
I haven't gotten over it yet.
What survey was this?
I forgot the site that you can go on and you can vote. And like I said, you were head to head, and when you go to the next round, it was almost. I think it was the.
I think it's the Orioles against the Indians in the next round.
And who eventually won? Do you know?
It's. I think the Orioles and Indians are still going at it.
Okay.
There's a base hit to right field. Blanco will go to third. So it's first and third and nobody out for the Giants.
Blanco went way out of the strike zone low. Hit this ball hard, found the hole over there. Tanaka gets a lot of swing and misses in this split finger down. That ball ended up.
It's out of the strike zone. He's able to, there's that hole again. Something off speed. You just put the barrel of the bat on, kind of guide it right through there, like a parking space for a baseball.
That hole would not have been there if Refsnyder had made the play. You can't assume that Span would have hit the very same ball, but an E3 has started this right here, and a tough jam for Tanaka. First and third and nobody out. Here's Angel Pagan. Fly ball right field. Beltran's there. Tagging is Blanco. Here's the throw. Here's the play. He's out. A double play. Great throw by Beltran. And Blanco is tagged out by Austin Romine. 2 away.
Right on target. Heading towards the plate. Airmails the cutoff, but right on the target. Tell when that umpire waits.
Now, did his fingers touch the tip of home plate, or did it go over home plate? That's what the Giants are looking at right now. And they are going to ask the umps to take a look. Well, how will they overturn that?
It looks like the fingers actually come up a little bit. See if we can see here. When he hits, it looks like his fingers kind of come up.
I don't think he got it. Now, he might not have tagged him, but after the play, you see Alfonso Marquez does not make a call.
It looks like the palm of his hand kind of forced his fingers up from that angle.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if that's overturned. The play is under review and is brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters. Crowd looking at it on the big screen in center field.
Tell you what, Carlos Beltran kind of turning back the clock, huh?
Yeah, they played that ball perfect. You know, it was kind of in front of him, shallow, all his weight going towards the plate. You follow through on that throw and you get a nice throw of no tail. You hear the oohs and ahs of every angle on the big screen here. I think his fingers came up on the palm of his hand, and it does not look like he hit the plate.
See, right there, like his fingers came up a bit. Now, if he had been called safe, I don't know if they could have overturned it if Joe Girardi had asked for the review. So that's the challenger. It has to be clear and definitive to overturn the call of the home plate umpire.
Alfonso Marquez, I mean, he did what umpires do when they see that you don't touch the plate. There was no call made until Romine went over and tagged him.
So in his idea, in his mind, the fingers did not touch the plate.
Now this could be a lengthy review because they're going to look at a lot of replays to try to find something definitive that his fingertips touched the point of the plate.
I'll tell you another thing, as you watch this replay over and over again, Kenny, you know how much that hurts?
No.
When you're jamming your head and your face and everything else, and they did not overturn it. He was ruled out.
Another thing on this play, Span stayed at first base. He didn't go to second.
A big break for Tanaka there. Now you've got 2 outs. Got a run scored.
Obviously, there have been so many rumors about possibly trading Carlos Beltran or being on the trade market. And, well, limited to American League teams because he's a DH. Well, he just increased his value to National League teams.
Well, he made 2 big plays tonight. He drove in a run and he saved a run.
Brandon Belt swings and misses.
I don't know if people realize it. You know, his value to this team, other than his everyday good play. I mean, there's a lot of younger players on this team that look up to him, talk to him. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge out there, a lot of games under his belt.
Line drive, caught. And that will do it here in the third. First to third, nobody out, and he escapes without giving up a run thanks to Beltran. Runs on Duncan. Raymore and Flanagan Furniture, furnishing your style. Fios. Fios is not cable. We're wired differently. Visit getfios.com, and by the Kia Top Quality Sales Event. Visit TriStateKiaDealers.com to learn more. Chase Headley leads off. Takes a pitch inside from Bumgarner. He hit a hot line drive to Gillespie at third. So he's 0 for 1. That was in the first inning.
Headley's coming up on a milestone here. He needs 3 hits to become to have the most hits of a player born in the state of Colorado. So, you know, it's quite a milestone. Best hitter in the state
Ever.
Yeah, ever.
Count 1-2.
Roy Hartzell is 2 hits ahead of him. And Roy actually played for the Highlanders back in the day.
Swing and a miss.
Kenny, you come from a tough state, man. Wow, you get some big guys.
Start with Lou Gehrig, huh? I'm sure Ohio's got some big-time hitters too.
James, look that up. Let me see the all-time Ohio, the Buckeye.
There's a strike to Ref Snyder. Two.
So Bumgarner trying, and now all of a sudden finding that slot where he's just painting that corner.
I'll tell you, the happiest man top half of this inning that Tanaka got out of that jam is standing at the plate right now, Ref Snyder, because the jam started with his error.
Okay, I just got it. What am I thinking about? Pete Rose, the all-time hit leaders from Ohio, from Cincinnati.
Popped up. Belt back and makes the play in foul territory for the second out.
Actually, New York was Carl Yastrzemski.
Yeah, he's from Long Island.
Yeah, 34-19.
That's a bunch of hits.
Wow.
Romine, fly ball to left center field, caught by Span in the first inning.
So Rose is first, and I see that you were ninth in number of hits from Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Ken Griffey, you got Barry Larkin. Now all these names are coming to my head in Cincinnati.
Well, you've always heard that Ohio's a swing state.
There you go.
Very nice. The 0-1.
Yankees got to try and keep the pressure on Bumgarner if they can. I mean, the first two innings, Yankees left 5 men on base. They did score 2 runs, but they got the pitch count up. He's up to 57 now, and just in the third inning.
Fly ball left field. Pagan puts it away for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. We played 3 here at the stadium. Yankees lead the Giants by a score of 2-0. March 5th for the Yankees' first ever Star Wars night. There will be a special Star Wars theme throughout the night and appearances by some of your favorite Star Wars characters. In addition, the first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a special R2-D2 Yankees knit cap. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
Got a text from a friend down in Texas that I need a couple of those hats.
Really?
I left it up to Audrey. It'd be a hot item, Michael. I would hold you responsible that I get a couple of those. I won't be in town.
How hot is it in Texas right now?
That's off the glove of a diving Torres, and it trickles into left field, so a base hit for Posey to start the fourth.
Buster Posey had been 1 for his last 11. But he comes up with a base hit here. Over a longer period of time, he's been hitting very well. So just had a little cool spot here. Go back 30 games, he's been hitting 352. So all-star catcher. Having yet another good year.
Brandon Crawford. Pretty cool that Crawford is a San Francisco Giant. He was a Giant fan his entire life. His mom and dad had season tickets at Candlestick Park before Brandon Crawford was even born. And here he is, the Giant shortstop.
I'll tell you one thing, if he would have sat at Candlestick Park for a few of those games as a young kid, he might have wanted to play somewhere else. That was the coldest,
oh my goodness,
most miserable ballpark at times.
Night games were unbearable.
Now, we mentioned that the Giants used to play in New York, and then after the 57 season, they moved out to San Francisco. And one of the reasons they really had to, because the Dodgers were going to move to LA, New York would not build them a ballpark in Brooklyn, which is actually where the Barclays Center stands. That's where they wanted the ballpark. And they wanted to build them one in Queens, and they didn't. That ended up being Shea Stadium. So in order for the Dodgers to make the move, they had to bring another team with them just for travel purposes. So he convinced Horace Stoneham, the owner of the Giants, to go to San Francisco. So he went out there, and they showed him Candlestick Point, but in the morning where the weather is beautiful.
Sunny and 70.
This is great. This is where I want the park. And once the park went up, he realized that it was a wind tunnel.
Wow. It was the weirdest thing. You'd go out for batting practice. It was nice. The wind would start, the fog would come in, and it would drop 20 degrees, and the wind would continue to blow.
Fans were in blankets and jackets, and this is in the middle of the summer. And when they had an extra inning game, the fans that stayed for the extra inning games, the Giants would hand out this item they called the quad, the candlestick. And it was like something you could pin on your jacket that said, I survived an extra inning game. Look out.
Swing and a miss, and the bat goes past first. So Crawford down.
That was not one of my favorite places to play. Splitter. Couldn't go down far enough to get it. And this, we were talking about the chase rate for Tanaka, and there's an example of it right there. Looks like a strike, drops out of the zone. Batter loses his bat in the process. Crawford's a strikeout victim.
Now, Bobby Mercer, our late colleague and friend, was traded from the Yankees to the Giants for Bobby bonds. Line drive and through for a base hit. Moving to second is Posey. And Candlestick in night games, I mean, it just didn't have that many people. And Bobby was playing for the Giants, and this is when the heiress, Patty Hearst, had been kidnapped.
No.
And Bobby told the media, he said, they should look for her in the upper deck. She could be hiding up there. But I'll give that ballpark credit. I was there when the earthquake hit, and that baby stood.
Yeah.
It rocked, concrete cracked, but it stood. And now from that ballpark to the one they play in now, which is one of the best in baseball.
It's beautiful.
We opened that. Remember, we opened that ballpark, and the big question was, we had a 2-game exhibition. Everybody was blown away on how the ballpark looked. And the big question was, were players going to be able to hit the ball into McCovey Cove, because it's way over the white field line. And the second night, Barry Bonds hit one over my head off of Andy Pettit, and the question was answered. Didn't even get it through the exhibition season, and one plunked in the bay out there.
First and second, 1 out. The DH Jarrett Parker at the plate.
Yeah, that is a beautiful ballpark. We had a chance to do a series there a few years ago. And just the views from the broadcast booth, it's hard to concentrate on the game.
43 pitches for Tanaka, 30 strikes and 13 balls. Yankees have only been there once for a regular season series. And Paul mentioned the exhibition series. One of the distinguishing characteristics of the ballpark, despite the aesthetic beauty of it, and it's gorgeous.
Split finger going away. Sorry, Michael. Good pitch.
You walk in and the smell of garlic fries is all over the ballpark.
Whatever happened to we must have had a grill break below us, because for the first couple of months we were getting something every night. Now nothing.
I guess somebody brought a hibachi the first couple of months.
They got a lid on that thing now.
2-1. Some garlic fries, or as we like to call them, gar fries.
Oh, man.
By the way, Paul, the amount of splash hits they're called, 109 since the ballpark opened. 70 by the Giants, 39 by opponents, 35 by Bonds.
And one that didn't count over my head.
3-1. And a walk to Parker. And the bases are loaded with 1 out for the Giants.
Again, Bumgarner and Tanaka have been in trouble tonight. Tanaka's been able to get a couple breaks and get out of it. Let's see how he wiggles out of this one.
Here is Ramiro Pena, grounded to short in the second. Swing and a miss.
Again, Kenny, you look at great pitchers, Tanaka, how he's going to try to get through this, and that he hit 94 on that. He really hasn't topped out at 94 all night, but this is one of those situations where you find a little bit extra. Get ahead, try to get to that swing and miss count. Before again, a good pitch just off the plate. And this is what you kind of hold in the tank if you're a good starter for these big situations. That pitch didn't miss by much.
Popped up. Romine makes the play for the second out.
Another huge out with men in scoring position, and Tanaka has been Houdini so far tonight in these big situations.
Well, you can see right from the first pitch he was reaching back for a little extra at 94 on the first 2 fastballs. I don't think he's thrown a fastball that hard all night long. And finally he gets the pop up here. Good play by Romine, good concentration. He's getting near the screen. Looked like a splitter that kind of was up.
Yeah, you saw Tanaka's reaction between the pitch. He got the out, but he was screaming at himself. That's not where he wants a split finger.
So bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's Blanco. One and 0. 2-0 Yankees. Top of the 4th inning.
Got the out, but look at this. He knows he made a mistake. Great pitchers, they get outs, but if they don't make their pitches, you're frustrated. Right now, you're kind of in a hole. 2-0. You've got to get a good strike here.
He's probably thinking a better hitter would have hit that harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Tanaka steps off, and Romine goes out and talks.
And very important to be on the same page. Probably the biggest pitch of the game to this point right now.
Well, this has not been a good spot for the Giants since the All-Star break. 6 for 46. 130 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, that's contributed to their struggles. And they haven't pitched very well either. Their team ERA is over 6.
Swing and a miss.
There you go. You take a little bit off and the hitter out in front. I was talking to Bruce Bochy on the field a little bit. The slider here just took enough off of it. And he said basically everything we do well, we're not doing well right now. Our starting pitching hasn't been good. We're not hitting with men in scoring position. We're not catching the ball. And we've got injuries. But, it's nice to pick up that paper and still be in first place.
You got a 4-game lead, yeah.
Three and 1. Bases loaded, the number 9 hitter at the plate, and a 3-1 count. 2 outs.
Kenny, I think Tanaka is down to a 2-pitch pitcher now. Split-fingered, he can't really throw it for a strike out of the strike zone. And now your fastball slider, for the slider 2-0.
There's a strike. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 3-2.
If you're going to take that pitch, you're probably going to try to throw the same one. They can beat you away. The problem is Torres playing the pull.
Crowd coming alive here at the stadium. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The runners will go on the 3-2. Now back, they'll do it again.
95 again. I mean, he's putting everything he has in the tank in this at bat, knowing the importance of this.
Swing and a miss, got him. He dialed it up to 95 in a rare show of emotion by Masahiro Tanaka as he works out of trouble. Got the fastball by him, and the Giants leave the bases loaded. weekday. Join Suki Scott and the Pix 11 News team with breaking news, traffic, and sports. Linda Church's weather reports keep you in the know. Mornings from 6 to 9 on the Pix 11 Morning News, bringing you the heart of the story.
Let me tell you something, Michael. Today, again, Friday, you expect it. You go to traffic, I mean, you were talking about traffic and weather. You go to traffic on your show. Do they ever come on and say traffic's great? There's no backups anywhere. Ever.
Usually not on Fridays.
Yeah.
Infrequently we'll get, oh, it's easy. No problems at all. Today was not one of those days.
I don't think I've heard it's easy as far as traffic is back to the 1950s around.
Foul back here, 1-1. Check out Tanaka's final pitch here of the fourth.
Yeah, you just don't see this kind of emotion in him. He understands the importance of this pitch and where it is in the game. 95 miles an hour by Blanco.
I mean, he doesn't usually do that.
Love it. Don't you love to see that, though? I mean, it brings you back to, it's a little kid's game with big guys playing, but it brings you back to being a little kid where you just beat somebody and you just outcompeted somebody, and that's a fun part of sports.
Wow, Trevor Brown takes over behind the plate just what the Giants need, another injury. Down goes Hicks, one away.
I think that goes back to Posey fouling the ball off his foot his first time up. I saw him when he was running the bases, and he had a little limp as he was running the bases there. So hopefully Bruce Bochy doesn't have another major injury to deal with.
And Buster Posey, what a part of the team he is, a leader and their captain, really. I mean, does everything for him.
There's Torreyes. Popped up. Belt makes the play. Here's what Kenny's talking about.
A tailing fastball in, looked like it got him right. Well, he's got a guard on, but still you can see the grimace on his face.
I think that got him on the back leg, Ken.
It did. All right. Well,
and there's no brace there.
No.
Wow. And kind of twisted at a weird angle.
Right off maybe one of the toes.
We're just, guessing why he would come out, so nobody has said it was that.
Yeah.
They only carried 3 guys on the bench, so 2 guys left over for Bochy. The last thing that Tanaka needed after a strenuous inning is to get right back out there on the mound. And that's exactly what Bumgarner did, retiring the Yankees in order. We go to the 5th, 2-0 Yanks. We come back to Yankee Stadium, 5th inning. Yankees lead 2-0, and we have a full house in the booth. Paul O'Neill, Ken Singleton, and Meredith Marakovitz joins us. And it's a special day because it's your birthday.
Oh, is it?
Oh, my goodness.
Happy birthday, Meredith.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
But we're going to put you to work because you have some news and notes.
Yes, I do. No place I would rather be than Yankee Stadium on my birthday.
There you go.
I have to tell you. You know what? We'll start with Chase Headley. So good to see him back in the lineup. Really scary moment for Chase Headley, his wife, and his family. His 4-year-old son, Colt, had a small operation over the All-Star break. He had some complications on Wednesday, had to be rushed to the hospital, had an emergency procedure, but luckily he is doing much, much better. So we wish Colt a very speedy recovery.
Oh, what a play there by Castro. Wow. He went a long way and then just hauled it in for the first out. Outstanding. Take another look or two.
Again, I mean, these are not easy plays. And worrying about where the bleachers are, where the wall is.
Concentration to the max. A little snow cone at the end, too. He had the best angle, and he made the most of it.
Also, Didi Gregorius not in the lineup. You notice a lot of lefties not in there against Madison Bumgarner. And Joe Girardi said that Didi Gregorius had played 7 in a row coming out of the All-Star break. He's not going to play every day. However, he hits lefties so well, so he was asked about that fact. Didi hitting .366 against lefties this season, .296 on the year as a whole, and he said a lot of it has to do with the matchups. Also, he likes to put the person who is coming in for Didi Gregorius in a position to succeed. Now, typically Madison Bumgarner, a great pitcher, so I don't know how many people are in a position to succeed when you step into the batter's box against him. Obviously, the Yankees got a little bit going here, but typically he does give Didi days off against lefties, despite the fact that he continues to hit them well this season.
Paul and Kenny, you never played 7 games in a row, right?
7. Yeah.
Well, he did say that he is not going to be getting many off days in the future.
Kind of strange, though. I mean, it's worked out so far, but this is a pretty important game. But, you know, Joe stands very firm about resting his players because he feels if you don't rest them, then they're not going to be available down the stretch. And it is a different world order in baseball, I'll tell you that. Pagan lofts one to left field. Gardner will put it away for the second out. Tell me about the fact that how you doing on your birthday, because it's
thanks, guys.
and the candle.
I didn't do it, Meredith. Light the candle up.
It's not your birthday, Paul. It's my birthday. You blew out the candle.
I get to eat it, though. Make a good wish.
Yeah. All right, make a wish.
All right.
You couldn't have made a wish that quick.
So quick.
I got it. I had it locked and loaded.
So you have a
locked
locked and loaded wish?
100%.
Same wish every year?
By the way, this is a flat cake or it's a cookie. What is it?
It's a black and white.
I would tell you, but obviously then the wish isn't going to come true.
No, that's true.
I hope you wish for a quick game.
Kenny, come on.
Happy birthday, Meredith.
Thank you.
You have something on Chad Green, I'm told.
Well, Chad Green pitched 2 1/3 yesterday, did a really nice job out of the bullpen, allowed Joe Girardi to rest the rest of those guys in that back end of the bullpen, but he's not going to be available for the next couple days. He is still with the club. He has not been optioned, but Joe Girardi said it'll be a few days until he uses him. And guys, one guy that is in the lineup and has an impact already in today's game is Starlin Castro, 2 for 2 with an RBI, 304 over his last 7. And he really credits Carlos Beltran to helping him out offensively. Carlos noticed something in his swing. You guys talked a little bit about this yesterday, that he was a little too tight with his hands at the plate. He had to loosen up a little bit. They watched video together. He went to the cage, worked on it, started doing it in games in that Orioles series, and it really seems to have translated. And Starlin Castro said it is just so awesome, not only for him, but for the whole team. Carlos Beltran pays attention to everyone in that lineup, and he's a veteran guy that'll come up to you if he sees something or if you do something wrong, and he'll tell you about it. And Castro said sometimes when you're struggling, that is so valuable to have a guy with his credentials come up to you and maybe give you a tip or that extra vote of confidence that you need. Sometimes that's just the boost you need to get out of a little bit of a slump.
Good stuff for both of them, and you know, Kenny mentioned before, and Paul as well. It's not just what this guy does on the field. Yeah. He and Rodriguez are the unofficial leaders in that clubhouse, especially with the young guys. Here's the 2-2, grounded foul.
If I had a mic, I'd get out like Harry Carey now. We'd have 50,000 people singing happy birthday to you. But maybe tomorrow, all right? Belated. Belated.
There's probably 50,000 people on Twitter singing happy birthday to her right now.
Well, thank you everyone for the birthday wishes. It is greatly appreciated.
Here's the 2-2. 3-2.
Tanaka trying to come back and have a quick 1-2 inning after leaving the bases loaded last inning.
And the payoff. Strike 3. Belt down looking. Giants go down in order. Meredith, may you live as long as you want, but never have to want as long as you live. Happy birthday, Meredith.
Thank you.
Scores, they're brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better with Time Warner Cable. Baltimore leads the Indians 5-1. That's the bottom of the fifth. Seattle 2-1 over Toronto in Toronto, top six. Boston and Minnesota 1-1 top of the sixth. And Tampa Bay and Oakland will start at 10:05. So that's around the AL East. 2-0 Yankees over the Giants. Here's Castro, 2 for 2 against Bumgarner. And now he's 3 for 3 against Bumgarner.
There's just some pitchers that throw your speed. And Castro, over the years, has hit Madison Bumgarner fairly well. Now this one, he doesn't really scorch. A little down on the label, but it's well placed. Right back through the middle in the center field, and he's on with a leadoff hit. I think there are pitchers that know. There were certain guys that knew when you came up, they didn't have anything for you.
Certainly knew that when I came up, they had no chance of me getting a hit also. It goes both ways.
It does,
you're more comfortable with certain guys than others.
That gets by Brown. That allows Castro to go to second.
That's a wild pitch. Ball in the dirt allows Castro to move to second.
Bruce Bochy over there, ex-catcher, knows that, you know, Buster Posey, a lot to get by him over there after the change. Now you've got a guy on second base. You never know.
You know, they've lost 5 in a row. Bochy has managed for 21 years. He's the longest tenured manager in the major leagues. You begin to wonder, when is it time for him to have one of those meetings where, we're not playing. They got 24 errors in 28 games. They're not hitting with runners in scoring position. Now, you said they aren't first place by 4 games.
Yeah, and it's not about the wins and losses.
It's the way you're playing.
Yeah, when you start booting balls and, not doesn't look like your concentration's right in big situations, those are the things that bother managers.
We're taking a look at Bochy, and he is a surefire Hall of Famer. He's won 3 World Championships, and that makes the 5-game losing streak a little less painful. And they are also in first place, as we mentioned. So this is their year, though, because they keep winning World Series in even numbered years. 12, 14, 10 before that. And Beltran works a walk.
I want to hear something. Like I said, I was talking to Bochy behind the cage today, and how he jabbed at a player. Flash can't be listening to this game, right? He has a basketball game with his kids tonight, right?
Yeah, he's in Virginia.
Okay, so I said, oh, by the way, Flaherty wanted me to say hi to you. He said, oh, is he here? I said, no. He's like, you know what? Good, because I got something to tell you. You thought that Joe DiMaggio 56-game hitting streak was big? Flaherty was hitting 8th and he got 30. That's much more of a feat.
Hitting in front of the pitcher.
Here's A-Rod, who's 0 for 2. Swing and a miss. We keep seeing Bumgarner here throwing 90-91 and getting it past people. It's got to be about hiding the ball, I guess.
Yeah, it's deception. Is his arm angle kind of cross fires. You certainly don't pick it up as well, certainly. But there was an inning there where he was really painting corners. And tonight, I don't think he's had his best control. He's been over the middle of the plate a little bit. It's just a guy that challenges people and continues to come after you.
He's reaching back here. Yeah, this is what Paul's talking about, the motion. This is men on base, so it's not quite as pronounced as when he goes to the windup and he can turn his back a little bit more before delivering the ball.
Swing and a miss. A-Rod down on strikes, and he's starting to hear some boos now, as he is 2 for his last 22.
Nothing fancy, 3 straight fastballs. This one kind of rides high and maybe out of the zone, but Alex tried to get on top of it and couldn't do it. The Yankee, I think Castro has 3 hits, but Headley's had some good swings.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier, the guys that have a lot of at-bats seem to feel much more comfortable. Castro and Headley being over in the National League.
Bumgarner, a really country kid from North Carolina. You mentioned his salary at the start of the game, and grossly underpaid for the type of player he is. He's never complained. He says he has enough money, enjoys himself, lives in North Carolina. Story about he and his wife, his high school sweetheart. This was in 2014. The Giants trained in Arizona, and they were in the back of their property, and he saw a rattlesnake, and he grabbed an axe and just hacked it to death.
If you're in North Carolina, that's what you do to a snake, right?
Right. So his wife was looking at the carnage, swing and a miss as Headley goes down, and saw that inside the rattlesnake were 2 young rabbits, and one was actually still alive. So the wife then took the one that was still alive and nursed it back to health, and she released it into the wild.
Story.
True story.
That's disgusting. That poor little rabbit had to just sit in there and wait.
Well, I mean, it's disgusting that the rattler ate it, but I mean, not that Mrs. Bumgarner saved it.
Bunny's out in the nature now.
That's right.
Hanging out.
It didn't run through the same fate again. That would be a bad luck rabbit.
There's millions of those rabbits out there now.
It's all fate, Michael. Wasn't that Rabbit's time?
I guess. His little friend, though, it was its time.
Here's another opportunity that's presented itself. Looked promising. Bumgarner got a little serious with A-Rod and Headley. Struck them both out swinging. He wanted that pitch.
And he tells Alfonso Marquez as much.
Backdoor slider. Tell on outside or inside. Look close down, up and down.
Foul bat.
To me, it looks like he's picked up the pace this inning when men have gotten on base.
Fly ball center field. Span is there, puts it away. And that'll do it for the Yankees in the fifth. No runs a hit and 2 men left on base. Let's go to the sixth. It's 2-0 Yankees. So good. Bumgarner, 5 innings, 6 hits. He's pitched out of a lot of jams, 2 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Tanaka's been better, 5 hits, or 5 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And after the inning, Madison Bumgarner had a very long conversation, not animated, but a long conversation with the home plate umpire, Alfonso Marquez, not loving the strike zone. Trevor Brown taking over for Buster Posey. He takes high. And this is the end of that conversation. A little smile. So all's good.
Smile because he got out of that jam, right?
Swing and a miss.
We talked about Tanaka getting ahead on counts, and when he's ahead on the count, hitters are hitting 176. He's thrown 17 out of 22 first pitch strikes tonight. So right away he's jumped ahead.
Fly ball. Center field backing up is Hicks, and he'll make the play for the first out. Here's Brandon Crawford. Crawford 1 for 2 against Tanaka. Now there was a lot of conjecture that when Chad Green was called up or had been pulled from his minor league start, didn't even actually make it, that he was being skipped over at AAA so he could start this game, which would then in turn allow Tanaka to pitch with extra rest. But Chad Green was used yesterday out of the bullpen 2 1/3 innings, and Tanaka pitching on normal rest, and his numbers are not nearly as good as they are with extra rest. But so far he's defying that trend. Now in his first 2 years in the big leagues, extra rest, normal rest, it was the same. But you can see this year 1.70 extra rest, 5.33 regular rest.
Wow. Where is this pitch, Kenny?
Maybe a hair off the plate.
Deep to right, but foul.
A loud strike.
And the 2-2. Line drive right field.
Oh.
And caught by Beltran. Right in the webbing of the glove. 2 away.
We haven't seen Tanaka miss with too many. He missed with a slider, and you see he just kind of lunges.
Oof.
And sometimes that ball catches you, Kenny.
Look like a wide receiver in the corner of the end zone, huh?
Off the top, stays in there. That's why outfielders use those larger gloves. I love some of his reactions tonight.
Oh my goodness.
Again, he hasn't missed with many pitches, and that was a slider that was supposed to be down and in, ended up right over the middle of the plate.
Here's Connor Gillespie.
Now, I think the term in Japanese for good job is yokrieto.
You know, Kenny, you could be not even close, and I couldn't tell
Well,
you.
I think that's what it is. So if you're Tanaka, that's probably what he was saying to Beltran. Good job.
Now, Kenny's scouting report said that the Yankees needed 6 innings from Tanaka. Kenny getting greedy now? You want 7?
Let me see. We're getting down towards the bottom of the order. I'd let him go one more. He only has 79 pitches. It didn't say 6. It said at least 6.
Okay.
So you could go beyond that.
No one warming, but obviously they could get up and warm while the Yankees are up. No time crunch. 1-2.
Oh, I was reading Connor Gillespie on the board last inning. He's an actual storm chaser. He's followed some tornadoes through the Midwest. Just look around and you wonder, you know, everybody has their own interest, but why?
He studied meteorology at Wichita State.
Oh, okay. So big storm's interesting, I guess, right?
But I think of what Bob Dylan said. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows.
1-2. You know who else is obsessed with weather? Mike Trout.
Yeah, I heard that.
Obsessed with weather. Like,
I thought you were going to say Bigelow T.
But Trout is in contact with all the people at the Weather Channel.
Didn't he make an appearance for them?
Yeah, with Jim Cantori. Yeah,
during the storm.
big storm.
Yeah.
He loves him some weather. And the 1-2. Grounded to second. Castro to Refsnyder. And a 1-2-3 inning for Tanaka. As he gets the Giants in order, we go to the bottom of the 6th. It's time to take a look at the game summary brought to you by the Rams Summer Clearance Event. Yankees lead 2-0, 2-6-1 Yanks, 0-4-2 Giants. Bumgarner has gone 5-6 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Tanaka really strong, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Starlin Castro an RBI double, Carlos Beltran an RBI single, and Beltran has contributed with 2 sparkling plays defensively. As Romine fouls it back, he throws out a runner at home plate, trying to tag up. And then he makes a running catch in the previous top half of the inning. Dylan Betances is up. Bumgarner has 95 career wins and a 2.94 ERA. He has a good chance to become the 5th pitcher in the expansion era, which is since 1961, to get 100 wins with a sub-3 ERA through his age 26 season. The other 4, we just saw one of them, Jim Palmer, Vida Blue, Bert Blyleven, and Dwight Gooden.
Big names.
Now Bumgarner will turn 27 on August 1st, but this is considered his 26th season. Still 1-2.
Did you say Blyleven was in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could believe that.
Kenny, how often did you face Vida Blue?
I remember the first time I did it was in Oakland, and after I got traded over to Baltimore, and a few times, because I think he went over to the Giants shortly thereafter.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I just remember when he burst upon the scene with the Oakland A's. That was one of the things that got me into baseball. I mean, he was exhilarating. He would come into New York and they packed the stadium. That was when they didn't have a lot of big crowds.
Just to see how hard he would throw.
Oh, he was awesome, and the name was great.
Yeah. Uniforms were cool.
Yeah.
I think he was 24-4 one year, something like that.
That might have been the year he burst upon the scene.
Whoa.
Wow, you had good numbers, Kenny, against him. 10 for 31.
You have to concentrate against the better pitchers.
Wow. Well, you always told me blue was always your favorite color, right?
It is. That's true. Driving around that big blue truck.
Here's the 2-2. Spoiled by Romine.
Yeah, Romine chased one out of the zone, but he was able to foul it off. If I had a blue through, he had a good fastball and a sharp overhand 12-6 hook. He didn't use his changeup very often. Didn't need it.
2 pitches were enough.
Yeah, he was tough.
Slow roller. Crawford fields and gets Romine. 1 away. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Here's Aaron Hicks, who's 0 for 2 tonight. He's 1 for his last 20. A fly ball to left and a strikeout. Another fly ball to left field. Pagan makes the play, 2 away. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Here's Ronald Torreyes. He scored one of the Yankees' 2 runs. Gardner scored the other. Torreyes single in the second. Then moved to third on a single by Castro to left that was bobbled by Pagan, so an E7. And then he scored on Beltran's RBI single. Now the year that I was talking about with Vida Blue, 24-8, 1.82, 8 shutouts, MVP and Cy Young. He was 21 years old, 1971 with the A's. Swing and a miss. Torreyes down on strikes, and that will do it. As the Yankees go down in order, 1-2-3 against Bumgarner, and we go to the 7th, 2-0 Bombers. Which is brought to you by ChevyOffers.com. Span with a single, Crawford with a single, Gillespie with a single, and a walk to Parker. Not much going on. Also a walker, or a walk to Buster Posey and a single, but he left the game with an apparent injury, and that's the offense against Tanaka. But Joe Girardi has made the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. And that call to the bullpen will bring in the first of the big three, Dellin Betances, his 47th game of the year, 82 strikeouts in 47 innings. Opponents hit 198 against him. And the Yankees tighten up their defense at first with Mark Teixeira taking over for Rob Refsnyder. Parker leads off, and the first pitch is a breaking ball low, 1-0. Yankees lead 2-0, a run in the first, a run in the second, that's it. 6 hits. Parker the DH. And a strike. Word on Posey, x-rays were negative, right foot contusion. He's listed as day-to-day. Two and one. One. Fastball is high. That was 97 miles an hour, and that's tonight's high-speed pitch, and it comes from Fios. Visit getfios.com. So a leadoff walk issued by Betances.
Does it count if it's out of the strike zone?
Yep.
Still counts?
Yes.
Like a long drive when it's out of the fairway doesn't count?
Didn't 105 from Chapman count when it was low and inside?
Low and inside of 105. That does get your attention. I hear you.
Here is Ramiro Pena, who is 0 for 2 tonight against Tanaka. And a strike.
So Tanaka did his job. Squirmed out of a couple of jams. Only 4 hits.
Foul back.
You have an opportunity tonight to either give up a few runs and probably leave without a lead, or get a couple breaks and make a couple great pitches. And that's what he did, getting out of a couple of those big jams.
4 hits, all 4 of them singles.
Did he go? Yes, he did, said David Rackley. So Pena down on strikes. Tried to hold up, could not. You judge.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement there, and you just can't hold up on that fastball.
You see the numbers on the right sleeve of the Giants in memory of Monty Urban and Jim Davenport. Monty, a Hall of Famer. The Giants from 49 to 55, and Jim Davenport, Giants from 58 to 70.
Monty Irvin played in a couple of World Series with the Giants, 51 and 54, and Jim Davenport played in the World Series against the Yankees in 62. Tremendous third baseman. Monty Irvin was an outfielder.
Now, we talked about the history with these two teams in New York. They had 2/3 of Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Willie Mays in center for the Giants, Mickey Mantle in center for the Yankees, Duke Snider in center for the Dodgers. Pretty neat time in New York baseball history.
Guys that kind of made me want to be a baseball player. Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle. Duke Snider. All 3 Hall of Fame center fielders. Take a look at the last pitch.
Another good breaking ball. A tight spin, just coming back to the outside corner.
Parker leads off first. 1-2 count, 1 out here in the 7th. Missed outside, 2-2. Swing and a miss, got him.
I'll tell you what, if he throws 3 or 4 in a row at you, he's just bound to throw the one that's unhittable. And right here, you just see this dive down and in. You miss that by 6 inches, and it's not the hitter. That's just the quality of the pitch.
That's the same pitch that Pena tried to hold up on. Same results.
Here's Denard Span.
The thing about being a big-time strikeout pitcher like Betances, you get a man on base, they have a tendency to stay right where they are.
Yeah, usually the only way they move up is if you bounce one in the dirt or something. He doesn't give up a lot of hits.
Swing and a miss. Goes with the fastball. 1-1.
Remember in the minor leagues, they thought Betances was going to be a starter, but coming in out of the bullpen, he only really needs 2 pitches.
Right.
And being a starter, you need more than 2, and you need to lengthen yourself out. Here, he can just let it go for that 1 inning. And he kind of struggled in that role as a starting pitcher, and then moving to the bullpen, and this is what you get. A pitcher that's been to the All-Star game his first 3 years in the league.
I'll tell you what, I guarantee the San Francisco Giants, when they went over to scattering reports, did not want to be in this position. Down a couple runs into the 7th.
That's a fair ball down the right field line. Kicking out toward Beltran. Parker's being waved home. Now they hold him. And a big turn by Span, who'll head back to second. So Roberto Kelly was waving him home and then held up the stop sign. So it's 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs for Pagan.
All of a sudden, a little jam shot. Betances has dug himself a hole right here. Fastball in, kind of get in on him. It looked like it just hit the chalk. Well inside, Mike. Fair.
You know, Roberto Kelly thinking about sending Parker, but he holds him up. You know, third base coaches have to look and see how the play develops. You know, they're watching the runner. They're trying to see if there's any miscue with the relays. There was not. So he had to hold the runner at third. So well executed by the Yankees out of the corner.
Pitch is high to Pagan. Time runs at second base. Pretty incredible number right there. Two and 0.
You're already looking down over there. These are supposed to be the relaxing innings. Once you get to Betances, Miller, and Chapman. Sudden tying run on second base. 2-0 count.
And that one gets away from Romine. Here comes Parker. He'll score. Moving to third is Span. And now the Giants are on the board. It's a 2-1 Yankee lead.
know that Betances has found tonight one pitch that he can rely on. This is kind of an overthrown just off the heel of the glove.
As hard as he throws and as far as Romine had to go to make the reception, the ball got there too quick for him to get over there.
Swinging on 3-0, and he grounds it to Teixeira, who gets to the bag, beats Pagan there, and the Yankees still have a lead. But 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base at the end of 6.5 innings of play. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead the Giants 2-1, but we'll stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest who is joined tonight by his family. United States Marine Corps Corporal David Cole from Coshocton, New York, who served in Vietnam. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Brought to you by ChevyOffers.com. Yankees have 6 hits, 3 of them by Castro, a double, 2 singles, a ribby. Carlos Beltran has driven the other run, and then Brett Gardner and Ronald Torreyes have scored those runs. So the Yankees lead 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Bumgarner still in there, and their bullpen is quiet. Brett Gardner will lead off against the lefty. Pitch outside, 1-0. Yankee bullpen has Andrew Miller up. He'll follow Betances, and they hope to get the Chapman with a lead in the 9th. Swing and a miss. Drops that one in there for a strike. And Bumgarner deals.
Talked about Brett Gardner being the lefty in the lineup tonight. And you're back in the World Series, Bumgarner pretty much single-handedly shut down the Royals because they were so left-handed. And he just dominated the lefties. The next year, the Royals made some adjustments. Some right-handed hitters. Ended up winning the World Series.
Fly ball down the left field line. Pagan on the run. It's a foul ball. Came in out of the bullpen in Game 7 against the Royals, and he just kept pitching. You kept expecting him to go to their closer, but Bruce Bochy said, no, I'm going to stay with the best pitcher I have. And he did not want to come out, and he ends up winning the World Championship. What a performance.
MVP.
2-0, 0.43, 17 strikeouts, 1 walk in 21 innings. Now, he ended up winning the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year award. And when he had to go accept the award, he had to buy a suit. He did not own a suit.
Really? You must not have to travel in suits, huh?
I guess not. But what, John Flaherty told us about Bochy yesterday, you give me 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, you can do whatever you want before the game or after the game, as long as you give me those hours.
It's so funny because I remember the first thing Lou Piniella, when he came to Cincinnati, we had a dress code on the road. You weren't allowed to wear ragged jeans or shorts or anything like that. And all of a sudden, it kind of made a statement of, you're a professional, dress like one, act like one. And Bruce Bochy he was out in San Diego, and now he's in Northern California. Different ways of doing different things.
I'm sure that Lou brought that over from the Yankees, because that was the
absolutely.
Yankee rule. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if that'd be allowed here.
You talking about the hair product or the length?
Both.
Yeah.
Tell you what, they'd like to have the way he plays shortstop. He saves a lot of runs. Crawford second in the major leagues in defensive runs saved. Solid shortstop.
A little bit of a rebel to him, and his longtime agent says he's a cross between Tupac and Eddie Vedder.
That's a little rebellious, yeah. But he has saved 18 runs defensively this year. Only one player has saved more, and that's Adam Eaton of the Chicago White Sox, 21.
Crawford fan. 1-1 count on Castro, who's 3 for 3 against Bumgarner. Now you look at Bumgarner's pitch total, and he's at 104. He leads Major League Baseball with 106.5 pitches per game. And he is also 5th in innings per start. Kershaw 7.56 innings per start. Cueto 7.18. Sale 7 even. Kluber 6.79 and Bumgarner 6.78. But Hunter Strickland is up in the bullpen.
I believe that was bullpen coach Mark Gardner right behind him, just with the tip of the cap saying he's ready. Yep, that's Mark Gardner. Had a no-hitter through 9 one night in the Dodger Stadium. Gave up 2 hits in the 10th.
Wow.
High fly ball right field. Blanco will make the play for the second out. Now tomorrow the Yankees are back on Yes for a Saturday showdown with San Francisco. So start your game day at 3 with Audi batting practice today, and then the Chevy pregame, and followed by all the action on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning, and here is Beltran. Perfect night for him. 2 walks and an RBI single, and 2 nice plays defensively. Now usually on hot days, and this is a really hot night, the booth, while not really air conditioned, there's some fans up here, it never feels that hot, but it's hot up here tonight.
Smoke. You know what?
So you can only imagine what it is on the field.
I think it's worse now than it was at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I think it's increasing. Audrey's got her coat on back there, so she's good to go.
You know, I mentioned Gardner pitching that no-hitter after 9, and then 2 hits in it. 2 days later in the same series, Dennis Martinez pitched a perfect game.
Oh, wow.
Checks his swing, 2-1. Bumgarner 10-5 coming in, and his ERA has inched up a bit to 2.15. He started at 2.12. Yankees could use another run to give their bullpen some breathing room.
You can hear him groaning with each pitch out there.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for the switch hitting 39-year-old Carlos Beltran. He was a former member of the Giants, traded to the Giants from the Mets for Zach Wheeler. Grounded in the hole, backhanded by Crawford. The long throw, and an infield single for Carlos Beltran.
And it's also going to be an error that allows Beltran to go to second.
That ball actually hit the back wall, the cement wall, and this is how much he had on this throw. Watch where this throw hit. It just takes off. Shows his arm strength. I mean, obviously you don't want to. This just didn't go in the camera well. Ooh.
Did that hit Arm and Hammer?
Might have taken off Arm and Hammer.
The Giants' 3rd error of the game.
So Beltran's night is done as they bring in Jacoby Ellsbury to pinch run. So Hicks will move to right, and Ellsbury will take over in center. Here's A-Rod, 0 for 3 tonight. Foul back here, just under our booth.
As close as I've seen one.
Runner goes, and A-Rod fouls it back. He had that base stolen. Bumgarner is locked into the batter. So 2 errors for Crawford. First 2-error game for him since June of last year against Arizona. Both of the errors, throwing errors, one on a relay throw to home and that one over the head of Brandon Belt.
I got a question. I mentioned he had 18 runs saved. If you make an error that leads to, do they take 1 run away? Yeah, it can go down. Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, it's like a teeter-totter.
fly ball, left field. Pagan will put it away, and that will do it. No runs a hit, 1 error and 1 man left. We go to the 8th. It's Yankees 2 and the Giants 1. Brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealers. 2 7-1 Yankees, a run in the first, a run in the second. Giants got a run in the 7th off of Betances on a wild pitch. 1-5-3 for them. Joe Girardi again makes the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. And Andrew Miller, the middle part of no runs DMC, takes over. And first batter he'll face is Brandon Belt. Foul back. Belt 0 for 3 tonight. Miller deals. Jacoby Ellsbury, as we mentioned, was going to stay in center, and there he is. And Hicks moves from center to right as Beltran leaves the game. DD takes over at short. So not a full day off. Two and two. Fly ball, right field. Hicks puts it away, 1 down. And that'll bring up Trevor Brown. Trevor, this will be his second at bat, taking over for Buster Posey, who suffered a right foot contusion on a foul ball at the plate. And the hits just keep coming for Bruce Bochy. No Hunter Pence, no Joe Panic, no Matt Duffy.
Hunter Pence played in a rehab game yesterday. Had a couple hits with a home run, so you know, just kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel with him for a week or so. But he had so much energy to this team. I mean, the numbers he's put up the past few years have been great. Truly miss him.
Panik got hit in the back of the head with a fastball in St. Petersburg against the Rays. He stayed in the game. He had a 3-run home run later that game. Was having some headaches, but passed all the baseline testing. He had 4 game-winning hits on the road trip, but he could tell he wasn't right. Finally, after a week, he said something, and they said, "You have a concussion." So no panic. Pena's done a nice job filling in. Giants are losers of 5 straight. They have not won a game since the All-Star break.
Second time this year they've lost as many as 5 in a row. They did that way back in April. I was talking to John Miller, their radio broadcaster, their Hall of Fame broadcaster, and he was saying at one stretch they went 40-15.
Now Osich joins Strickland. Base hit to right field by Trevor Brown.
Well, Brown just pokes at the right field. Ball up and away, fastball. I walked in here early this afternoon. Watch this replay again. Just kind of a sailing fastball away. Trying to do too much. And John Miller kind of holding court in here, Ken.
Yeah, well, I'd known John way back in the day. He actually broadcast for Baltimore for a while.
It's in Sunday Night Baseball for years with Joe Morgan.
With Brandon Crawford with 2 errors tonight.
Michael, you would have loved it. He was doing his Vince Scully impressions. If you close your eyes, it sounded just like him. Tough pitch there. I mean, you throw that ball right at the front hip of a lefty. It just kind of freezes you, and it ends up on the inside corner. You see kind of that buckle right there.
Coach Miller can move that away from a left-hander quite well. Looks like this is what's coming up.
Such a tough at bat. I mean, you talk about Bumgarner, his release point. Miller 6'7" with kind of the same slinging action. Outside, you can't hold up. You just don't pick up the spin of the baseball. He's got that good of stuff. Just mess around and fire 195 out there too.
Three and 2. Runner leads off first, held there by Teixeira. Swing and a miss, got him. Crawford down on strikes against Miller. 2 away.
This is a very nasty pitch that puts him away. Out here he thinks it's a fastball, but it's not. It just breaks well off the plate. That's how much break he had on this one. And Crawford kind of a wild swing and a miss.
I mean, 3-2, you've got to have fastball in your mind. You've got to cover it. Miller's smart enough to know that. Who's that? Rothschild going to go out.
Pinch hitter coming up.
Go for a little scouting report. Might not know.
Grant Green will pinch hit for Connor DeLapsey. Gives us time to remind you our next Picks telecast will be Monday when the Yankees travel to Texas and take on the Houston Astros. Coverage begins at 7:30 right here on New York's Home for Baseball, Picks 11. Yankees will face the Astros, a team that they're fighting for one of those wild card spots.
How warm do you think it's going to be in Texas?
Very. So Grant Green for Connor Gillespie. First pitch, a strike. Quickly 0-2.
This is the spot where you don't want to be against any pitcher. No balls and 2 strikes. But in particular, a guy like Miller or Betances or Chapman.
How about pinch hitting, coming off the bench? You're not really into the game, and boom, you're 0-2.
Yeah, your chances are really diminished.
And that's off the glove of Romine, but staying put at first base is Brown.
What happens here? Just kind of broke off the glove, high and away. As I said, part of it is that because these guys throw so hard, it's hard for Romine to react and flag it down.
Grounded foul. Missed inside.
Not much.
One of those nasty sliders. Marquez has been tight back there, no doubt about it. I mean, it's got to cross the plate. He's not calling it.
Fly ball into left center. It is a base hit in front of Ellsbury. He'll fire to second. Moving to third is Brown. So a pinch hit single for Green. And it's first and third with 2 men out.
Yeah, Ellsbury had him played towards right center, so the big gap was in left center field. And if he'd been playing straight away, he would have had this. But you can see a couple steps towards right center. This ball's headed for the gap. It's going to get down in front of him. And with 2 outs, Brown's off with a crack in the bat. Now he's at third base.
A tying run on first base. Ellsbury, as you going over to that ball, all you want to do is take your time, field that cleanly.
So the last move here for Bochy, he sends up Mac Williamson to pinch hit for Parker. That's his last move. No one left on the bench. Just pitchers. First and third, 2 outs. Foul back.
Always look at Miller. If he's in trouble or if he struck out 3 people, you know, his demeanor, his face, it never changes. I mean, his confidence level just never looks like he's pressing out there.
Never let him see you sweat.
It'll be tough tonight.
Swing and a miss. Dialed it up to 97, 0-2.
Interesting here. I mean, he loves to put guys away with the slider, but he threw this fastball right by him out of the strike zone.
Just missed back door. Again misses outside. 2-2.
So he's trying to force that slider down and in, and he's missed with 2 of them. And all of a sudden now, you know, you got 27 pitches. That's a lot of pitches for Andrew Miller tonight.
Three in a row off the outside corner. Now what do you do? Fastball, slider. Runner at first will go.
Masahiro is going to play behind the runner.
First and third, 2 outs, 3 and 2. Top of the 8th, pitch. Drilled deep to left field. Going back is Gardner. He's going to play it off the wall. He gets the ball in quickly. They'll hold the runner at third. The ball gets away. Backing up is Teixeira, but the tying run scores on the pinch hit double by Williamson.
I'll tell you what, Bruce Bochy's got to be unbelievably pleased. You've got 2 consecutive pinch hits on a ball outside the strike zone. But Gardner, no chance off the wall.
Well, during that at bat, Williamson did chase a high fastball. He didn't get on top of it. This one he got on top of.
So now second and third, 2 outs, and here's Ramiro Pena. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning. Swing and a miss. Chapman is up. So the Yankees have a 2-0 lead against Madison Bumgarner, and they could not hold it. And now they're trying to keep it here at 2-2. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Pena.
It seems like Miller's been able to get to this 0-2 count and has not been able to put away a couple of hitters.
He's trying to backdoor Williamson 3 times and missed, and then had to come in with a fastball.
Strike 3, and that will do it. But not before the Giants tie the game. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 of them with 2 outs, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 2-2. New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by the Honda Summer Clearance Event, by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, by Land Rover Above and Beyond, by Modell Sporting Goods, your fan gear headquarters. Come on, Bronx Bombers fans, you gotta go to Moe's. And by Toyota. For great summer deals, visit your local Toyota dealer or buytoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. New pitcher for the Giants, Josh Osich. This will be his 47th game. The bullpen not the strong point of this Giants team as Headley leads off. They have an even 4.0 ERA as 18th in the majors. That's only the second blown save for Miller this year. The other one made 10th at Kansas City. Lorenzo Cain hit a home run, but the Yankees scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, ended up winning the game. So we had mentioned the bullpen had gone 31, or the entire bullpen had gone 31 consecutive scoreless innings before tonight. And Betances gives up a run, and Miller gives up a run. And the 2-0 lead is now 2-2. So Grant Green takes over at second, and Pena moves to third, replacing Gillespie. Foul ball the other way. Sergio Romo is up. Time is called. Yankees scored a run in the first, a run in the second off of Bumgarner. They had a lot of chances to break it open, but the tough lefty got tough and held them to just those 2 runs. And now his team has answered.
Tell you what comes to my mind now, and you think back about how well Tanaka pitched. This is going to be his 11th no decision this year. And I mean, a lot of these games have been like this, where he's given up 1 run, no runs. A lot has to do with his pitch count, obviously, pulling him out early. But, man, that's a lot of no decisions for a guy that's giving you good innings.
So Headley battling, fouls it back.
A couple of off-speed pitches, he's fouled off.
Slow roller, third base side. That's a base hit.
With 2 strikes, Pena's back. Just a matter where that ball was going to stay fair. Didn't have enough hook on it or spin to carry it into foul territory. And Headley had enough speed to beat it out for the hit. Over the top. Pena realizes it's going to be a fair ball. Headley safe by a step and a half.
So here's Mark Teixeira for the first time. He took over defensively at first for Ref Snyder. And this will be Mark's first at bat. So the 11 no decisions for Tanaka ties Jake Odorizzi for most in the major leagues.
Odorizzi had been subject of some trade rumors down there in Tampa Bay.
Two and 0.
Outfielders are playing back. They don't want a ball hit over their head in this instance. A lot of room between the infielders and outfielders. Little dunkers usually send a runner from first to third.
was thinking about that play where Gardner kind of barehanded that ball defensively, and I think he's kind of fortunate that Roberto Kelly didn't pick up that, Didi didn't come up with that ball clean. You run through that, they could be down 3-2 right now.
2-1. 3-1 on Teixeira. Romine's on deck. Swing and a miss. Got the fastball by him. 3-2. Here's the play Paul's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, 2 outs. A lot of times that third base coach will get way down the line. And right here, he kind of short-topped it. He didn't come up with it. Could have easily been a run scored, the third run.
And he walked him. So the Yankees move the go-ahead run into scoring position.
The Giants are looking for the bunt here. Pena's in on the grass. Joe Espada running through the signs for Romine.
Runners lead. Romine squares. And he does not pull back the bunt attempt, so that's a strike.
He's got 1 sacrifice bunt this year, so he's capable.
I actually think this bunt is one of the easier. I mean, once you make the third baseman field the ball, you easily get into third.
Another thing too, you have to make a decent bunt because of the left-handed pitcher on the mound, and he can come off and he doesn't have to turn his body or pivot to make the throw to third to get the force play. So you really have to make a good bunt here. Make that third baseman feel the ball.
Bunted foul.
It's all about keeping the bat, completely level and moving your body up and down. And you see the barrel of that bat. Watch, I mean, you're supposed to bend your knees. Watch the barrel of the bat's going to come straight down. That's just not the way you want to sacrifice bunt.
All right, what do you do now if you're the Yankees? Do you keep the bunt on? You bunt foul with 2 strikes, it's a strikeout. Or do you let him swing away and then possibly have him hit into a double play? Now, there are other good things that could happen as well.
And most of the time, Joe Girardi sees those first 2 attempts, pretty much take it off and put the pressure on Romine to try to get something done.
Chopped over the middle. There's one, and the throw is high, and it gets away. Here comes the runner. Headley's safe. Yankees lead 3-2. Another error by Crawford.
Wow.
And Romine might be hurt. Walking slowly back to first base.
Joe Girardi and Stevie Donahue going to go out and check on him. Here's what Michael's talking about. Tried the 360, but the throw is airmailed once again in and out of the glove of Belt. And Headley, with some heads-up base running, scores the run. Didn't hesitate while rounding third. Once that ball got away, he set sail for home, and the Yankees have the 3-2 lead.
That is the 4th error of the game for the Giants, and the third by Crawford. Here's what happened to Romine. It's like he tripped over the bag.
It looks like he got kind of kicked in the kneecap there by Belt.
And he's going to try to run it off as Osich is out. Bochy goes to the bullpen, and the Yankees lead 3-2.
For a Giant shortstop, Brandon Crawford, usually sure-handed, makes all the plays. One of the better shortstops in the game, but not tonight here at Yankee Stadium. Turns, fires, ball away from the first baseman Belt. Here comes Henley. Did not hesitate. Good base running. Scores the go-ahead run. Yankees have the lead.
Hicks takes low from Romo. So this is the 9th game for Romo. And Andrew Miller has a chance to pick up a win now. But he's not about that. He'd much rather have the win for Tanaka.
You know, I was just saying, just looking at his reactions, you love his reactions during the game. I mean, he expects to get people out. He walked off the field. There was no antics. And you know, he's out there rooting for this team. He knows the importance of these games.
Pitch outside, 2-1 on Aaron Hicks.
Years back, Romo did a good job as a closer with the Giants. Kind of moved down in the pecking order a little bit, but a lot of sliders. Finds a way to get guys out.
He was on the DL, a flexor strain in his right arm. Later put on the 60-day DL. So first a 15-day on April 15th, and then the 60-day DL when he had a setback on June 10th. So overall, he missed a total of 77 games this year. Crawford with 3 errors, and he is the reigning Gold Glove winner at shortstop in the National League. Fly ball, right field. Blanco makes the play. Heading back to first is Romine. So now Chapman will come in for a save situation in the 9th.
Very odd when you look at how good all 3 of those guys are, that 2 of them, but Tansis didn't have a clean inning either. He struggled a little bit, then Miller struggled. Just hope that Chapman has one of his magical nights where he can shut the door.
Well, no more moves for Bruce Bochy, the manager, and there's some left-handed hitters scheduled to face Chapman.
Here's Didi, his first at bat of the night, and there's a strike. 3-2 Yankees lead the Giants. Giants with 4 errors, the Yankees with 1, each team with 8 hits. First game of a 3-game set. In the East, Minnesota beat Boston 2-1. And Baltimore has won hits game. They beat Cleveland 5-1, the Orioles did.
Going into tonight, you know, baseball's a weird game. Going into tonight, Boston won 9 out of the last 10 games. And then, you know, Minnesota shows up, beats them. Don't expect that.
They beat Minnesota last night 13-2. It was 6-0 just after the anthem.
And Toronto lost to the Mariners. So it could be a productive night for the Yankees. Mariners beat Toronto 2-1. And the pitch. 2-2. Blanco, Span, and Pagan. 9-1-2 in the Giants' order coming up in the 9th inning. Gardner on deck for the Yanks. Two-two. Serve to left field. Coming on is Pagan. A basket catch for the final out of the inning. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 big error, and 1 man left. We go to the 9th. Aroldis Chapman will take over for the Yankees and try to pick up the save. It would be his 20th save of the year. He's 19 out of 20 with a 2.22 ERA, 40 strikeouts in 28 1/3 innings. Now, he spent his entire major league career with the Reds, so the Giants have seen him. But of the 3 men coming up, The only one with a hit is Angel Pagan, 1 for 4. That's a double. It'll start with Gregor Blanco, and as Kenny said, there's no moves for Bruce Bochy. He's made them all. He's used his entire bench, unless he wants to use a pitcher. So Blanco 0 for 2. To take that 0 for 3, reached on an E3. Yankees trying to win their 5th out of 6 games. They won Sunday night. They won 3 out of 4 against the O's, and now this is the first game of the 3-game set against San Francisco. Chase Headley is in on the grass at third for Blanco, and there's a strike. What do you think, Paul? Hot night? You think he goes to 105?
I'm going to go with 103 again. Last time I went 103, wasn't a 105, but.
And a drag bunt and a foul ball.
Slider right there. The last one he sees.
You know, the night that he threw the 105.1, he threw a slider that J.J. Hardy hit.
Right.
And he thought it was out.
Yeah. So did I.
And Susan Waldman asked him that night in the clubhouse after the game, she said, "You're throwing 105. Why'd you throw a slider?" And he laughed. He goes, "I don't know."
Good answer. He was truthful, huh?
Wasn't analytical. I don't know. The 1-2.
103.
You got it. He's not done.
Just getting started here.
Wow. How do you take that?
You take it because you can't see it and you can't hit it, you know. Wow. As we said, that he's been tight back there, and he has not wavered an inch off that plate tonight.
Three-two count as the Giants trying to get a leadoff man on. The 3-2. Laced into left field. Gardner slides. He can't make the play. It's off his glove, and it rolls to the corner. Blanco's going to second. He's thinking about 3. No, he'll stay right there. So a double for Blanco to start off the ninth.
Wow, this is a crazy night, Kenny. I mean, there's plays that you're used to seeing Brett Gardner make this play. You're not used to seeing a lefty hit the ball that hard. It's like he got his glove kind of turned the wrong way. Yeah, right at the end, he tried to change his glove. Just got caught going the wrong way. Good piece of hitting right there from a lefty.
Yep.
And this is a big play, actually keeping him to second base. You still need a base hit at this point to get him in.
Yeah, he might have kept himself to second base without coming out of the box. Let's see how the Giants want to play this. The Yankees are looking for the bunt here. In on the corners. Got a left-handed hitter up, and I think that's the proper play here. Can you really expect 2 lefties to get hits in a row? He's swinging.
And a line drive, a one-hopper to Gregorius across the diamond, and they get spanned. Blanco stays put.
Well, your job as a shortstop is to play a ball differently, either come in or go back to give yourself a better hop. Gregorius had to go back on that ball to make it an easier play, but you got to have that arm strength where you could throw off your heels. Indeed he does.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy play. Plus, I think that ball had some spin on it. So it could have done anything once it hit the dirt.
Big out for the Yankees, still at second base. So Chapman, obviously a strikeout pitcher, has an opportunity here.
Yeah, so the outfielders are up. In case there's a play at the plate. Pagan's a switch hitter. He jumps over the other side.
He's 0 for 4 tonight. Swing and a miss. Crowd of 45,304 on a steamy Friday night here in the Bronx.
And they've seen a good game and they've seen a weird game. A lot of players making plays you're not accustomed to seeing.
Bumgarner at the plate. He's one of these switch hitters that the splits are just about even. He came into tonight hitting 291. 290 left-handed and 293 right-handed. So he's about the same.
It's pretty consistent from both sides.
One. Line drive right at Castro. Giants down to their final out.
The Giants hitters are putting some good at bats on Chapman, going the other way, staying on it.
I think you hit it on the head, Paul, when you said they've seen him before. Yeah,
Well, Castro and Chapman finding something to laugh about.
So it can't be that fun until you get this last out.
You can laugh.
Here's Brandon Belt, 0 for 4 tonight. He's 0 for 2 lifetime against Chapman, so lefty against lefty. The tying run is at second. Yankees lead 3-2, top of the 9th inning. Strike, 104 miles an hour.
At the knees on the outside corner.
Blanco leads off second. Checked there by Gregorius. Again 104 low, 1-1.
Tell you what, this is one of those at bats where if you're Roma, I don't think you give signals. Slider doesn't come into play. Let's go blow this guy away and let's get out of here.
1-1. Swing and a miss.
Right when I say that, he throws a nasty slider.
Yeah, this is a pretty good one. But I'll tell you what, if he had Miller's slider, he'd be completely unhittable.
Yeah.
Most of the crowd on its feet. 1-2 count against Belt. Chapman deals. Slice foul.
Tell you what, I mean, that's a good swing at 104 mile an hour fastball, just followed up by a good slider away.
Runner from second leads. The lefty closer sets right around the neck. The 1-2. 2-2. Now on deck, it's not Buster Posey. It's Trevor Brown. Posey left the game with an injury. So Belt is ready. So is Chapman. Just missed inside. Oh, that's on the corner.
You can't hit it. I guess you can't call it either. I mean, everything's been away.
And the payoff. He struck him out. 103 miles an hour. And the Yankees win a nail-biter, 3-2. So the Giants lose their season-high 6th game in a row. And the Yankees come back after yesterday's loss to the Orioles and win the first game of this 3-game set against the San Francisco Giants. Let's take a look at that last pitch.
Well, nothing fancy here, just trying to blow it right on by him. 103 that had plenty of plate. Belt has to swing, and he is a little late, like a lot of hitters are against Aroldis Chapman.
So Betances gave up a run. Miller gave up a run. Chapman did not give up a run. He nails down the save, his 20th of the year, and the Yankees win this one 3-2. We've got more to do from here at the stadium, so you stick around. Yankees celebrate, couple of high fives, head to their clubhouse with a 3-2 victory. We'll be back in a moment on Pix 11.